Right. No!
That is a killer riff.
Back again. Surprise show. And even more of a surprise, we get to have our buddy here, Josh, with us too.
Everybody's here, so it's really exciting.
It's like a family experience.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, guys. Start off by saying that.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming over to my place and doing the show. It's fun. Yeah, he's like Joe's girlfriend or fiance now is in the city here doing like a paint night.
Yep.
And he's like, I need like something to do till like 10 o'clock. And
Yep.
I'm like, well, we can always train and then do a podcast. He's like, all right. So
Yep.
that's what we're doing now. It's very exciting.
I'm excited. I can hardly contain myself.
Josh just found out he's doing a podcast about 5 minutes ago. So
Luckily, I was able to fit you into my social calendar. Normally, I'm very busy on Saturday nights,
he's down for whatever, guys.
Saturday night special.
Yeah. Well, that's what arm wrestlers do. Saturdays we pull. Like
Yep.
that's where, we're very exciting people. But Josh is actually still like you're on vacation basically, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's just got done climbing mountains today.
Yeah. Mountains. That's good training for your legs. I don't know if you guys have heard of them, but they're right below your waists. All arm wrestlers do, in fact, have them. For
What?
the most part.
Are you sure?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. Ask Josh Handelin.
Yeah, no shit. He went running. He's probably running right now.
He is running right
He's
now.
like, guys, you gotta get the fuck out of here. I'm going running.
Yep. He was, I will guarantee, he said he was going for a 7-mile run. I think he's ridiculous, but that's...
He just did a 5K, last weekend? And he took like 2 minutes off of his time.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
pretty great.
He was...
For, guys who like that kind of thing.
Yeah. Who can? I can't.
I personally hate that, out of breath, like that burning thing. Like the thing that makes me feel like I'm getting healthier. It sucks.
Whatever you do, you avoid getting healthier at all costs.
Remember
right?
when I texted you and I was coming out east? I said, man, my
Yeah.
flight was getting late. And I said, I ran to the gate. And you do this for fun, you say.
Yeah, running's... It's definitely a do-or-die situation for me.
So, like, if you're going to be killed,
So, like,
Yeah, I'll
if
run.
someone's
man.
chasing you with an axe, then you'll
Yeah.
run. Otherwise,
I'll turn it
forget
on.
about it.
it's got to
But
be a
yeah.
big axe, though.
It's... I have to not be able to, I have to know without a shadow of doubt I can't stand my ground. And then I'll run. But otherwise my knee won't really hold up.
So if there is a shadow of a doubt, what happens? You kind of like sort of run and then
Kung
come back,
fu.
and then do you do this kind of thing?
Roll
And
the
then
dice, maybe.
Just roll the dice, see what
Yeah.
happens.
Chokeholds? You into chokeholds?
Yeah,
Okay,
chokeholds,
that's
yeah.
one- okay, chokeholds. We got that.
Yeah.
So you can see we got these shirts on here.
Yeah.
Mr.
check
Joe
it out.
here, as well as pulling, he's also
Take some
Ab-
pictures and videos
Yeah.
every now and then.
And that's what you were.
Some of us have shirts. I have a Bone Frog shirt on, which is a running shirt.
Well, that's cool.
It's an
Well,
obstacle race.
It's really nice.
You have to climb over things and everything. You'd hate it.
Oh,
is that with like mud involved or no?
ew.
There's frequently mud involved, yeah, but there's a lot of upper body stuff, so arm wrestlers should all do it because we're good at it.
Do they have like electric fences and stuff with that too?
That's Tough Mudder.
Okay, I didn't
Tough
know if
Mudder
that
has
was
those.
the same type of deal.
Tough Mudder is my favorite race actually because it's
Really?
not just because of the electrocution. There's other benefits. So
Is that when they do that? Is there like a quote, like a definitive winner, or do they not really do that? It's just kind of like
no,
to raise.
Tough Mudder is like it's about like
Raising-
challenging yourself, helping
Yeah.
other people complete the course, that kind of stuff. Spartan is like race.
Okay, I got you. I've seen that before. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Cool. I see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you were into filming before arm wrestling, though, right?
Yeah, before that, I've been in the YouTube game since pretty much 2007. In my free time, well, in the past more so now because arm wrestling and filming kind of consumes it. But I'm into long range shooting, so I filmed a lot of that before, and that's kind of what got me into wanting to film and different angles and aspects and stuff like that. And then we've always arm wrestled growing up, just never really like legitimate or
right, like the rest of us.
Yeah, And then we moved down to the cities and I just kind of, or not really the cities, but St. Cloud, and then got a hold of Josh Hanlon, and 2 years goes by, and here I am filming.
Yeah, you're
pulling.
2.5 years in.
Yeah, 2.5 actually. February 2014 was like my first training session, and then March was my first tournament, real tournament, novice class.
It's pretty sweet.
So yeah, it's been a good 2 years. Probably one of the nicest like community / families that I've got to be a part of. I've been around a lot of different things, like competitive shooting, just various sports. Frisbee golf, I'm into that too, and arm wrestling definitely ranks high up there for the camaraderie.
So how does it feel now to throw one of them? How to throw like a disc? Has that hurt really bad now?
So just to recap, arm wrestling rates higher than frisbee golf.
I would actually say so. 'Cause,
I like it.
That's.
It just made my whole night, man. I mean, I feel like I should go write an article about comparing the two sports and why we're better.
Well, there's more family, like kids and like spouses involved. Where frisbee golf is kind of just like the dudes or the bros. You don't really get to see a lot of. Special circumstances. My fiance does play frisbee golf, so. But it's not all the time you see like a family, like wife, husband, kids. But arm wrestling, you do get to see that a lot at tournaments, and I don't know. I like that. That's reminds me of home. When you can't quite get back there or whatnot.
Is that how you met your fiance, playing frisbee golf?
No, actually, surprisingly not. Well, kind of. We played frisbee golf the very next day after we met, but I met her at a college party. The place where you're not supposed to meet, the people that you're going to spend the rest of your life, or at least you don't really expect to. But yeah, that was 1 in a million chances. She is the better half of me.
And now she gets to host a bunch of heathens on Thursday nights.
Yeah. Every Thursday, this dude and 2 other sweaty dudes come over and we hold hands.
Hi, Betsy. I'm here to ruin your life.
It's been good. It's been good. These past Thursdays they're turning us into, us, by the other 2 dudes and myself. They're turning us into good arm wrestlers, which is the ultimate goal.
I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's, we don't want to get worse, right?
Yeah. I do arm wrestle.
Yeah, Joe also arm wrestles, guys.
More than just taking pictures and stuff. I do actually arm wrestle.
Mm-hmm.
He's built a lot like you are, Josh. Longer arms.
Yeah, my arms are. Eric Rousset and I measured our arms. Almost the same.
Yeah, your
they're
forearms
about the same.
How long is it from say your elbow to your tallest?
It's actually exactly the same length as Devin Lorette, because I saw his little statistics. I don't remember if it's 19 or 20 inches, but it's pretty long.
Mine's like 30.
Where do they measure, to the bottom of your hand or to the top of your finger?
Elbow to top of the finger.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I gotta be close. Probably not there, but I got a long arm for being the weight
half
class.
an inch makes a huge difference.
It does. I would even say a quarter inch would make a big difference in the right scenario of applying it.
Yeah, for sure. And Joe, he's in the 76s, so that's a pretty dangerous weapon in that class.
It's nice. I don't have a big hand. I have a wide. I've always been told that I have a wide hand, but it's not thick. People don't have a hard time getting around my hand. It's just I have a flat wide hand. It's not thick, so I use what I got to my best.
And the straps.
Straps are fun. I like the straps. I make I don't hide it. If you want to pull me in the straps, I'm going to jump at that. So it's fun. I like it. I use what I got, and in the straps, you really get to use what you got if you're
well versed in them.
Yeah, well, just having someone like this guy tell you how to pull in the straps helps.
I don't know what you're talking about. Don't give away my secrets. They don't always secrets. Everybody knows.
Is your
Everybody
microphone
knows.
working, John? Your microphone sounds low to me.
Am I very low? Now, yeah.
So I can hear him, but I can't hear you.
I'm doing the best I can, Josh.
It's
I'll
okay
just yell.
because generally he's so far at least he's more interesting, so it's not really hurting the show at all. But
Yeah.
Keep going.
I'm chatting with Sam Harris right now, John Brown, about
What's up,
our
Sam?
proposed super match between you and him at New England's left-handed.
Yeah.
He basically is saying he thinks that you are out of his league, Lefty, and he's not ready for you yet. How about that for some praise?
What?
Huh?
Really? That's surprising to me. Well, Sam, I disagree. I think
Whoa.
you're doing really, really good, to be honest with you.
I also disagree. I think it's something that I would really like to see right now. Hey, I'm gonna give him, yes, very much so, props. But it's something that I want to see.
I think, Sam, you're a beast, man. You've been looking really, really good.
I just sent a message to him that you think that he'd smack you around.
Okay,
So
good.
That's basically a
That's
paraphrase.
basically what I said, yeah. So that's good.
I would love to see it personally.
Yeah.
Almost exactly.
So, you were doing YouTube videos and stuff before arm wrestling.
Yep.
Was it always NBK?
No, actually, that surprisingly enough, that just came about really when I started like focusing a lot of time specifically geared towards the arm wrestling, and the MBK is a nickname that was given to me from Ray Cody. Believe it or not, he gave that nickname to me shortly after I got acquainted with him, and it's stuck, and it's kind of been what I've ran with and how I choose to market, I guess you could say, because that's really, I mean, that's what it is. I'm trying to build a brand. I mean, I'm not trying to be rich or anything, but it's kind of just like a vehicle to share arm wrestling.
No, you're trying to showcase what you
Yeah.
like. I mean, we do the same thing. It's no different than this show.
Exactly. Exactly.
As much as we joke about like we're not prepared.
Dude,
and all
we're
this
getting
stuff,
rich, first of all.
Oh,
we
hell
made
yeah.
like $2 so far
Hey.
on YouTube.
fucking baller ass shit.
I remember exactly when I first started YouTube and I was like, realized that I could monetize my channel. Didn't really research too much into it, and yeah, it's definitely interesting to see growth and being able to track that with YouTube, and it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to check how much we're worth right now, Josh. It's gonna be really big, guys.
So, yeah, it's already really big. Philippe says you're not getting any ice cream, John. I don't know what that means. Some kind of.
Oh, sorry, buddy. I know. I heard. I saw some videos.
Oh, I see.
Apologize. I think you did the right thing. I just, it's the way it goes sometimes. Yeah, he messaged me about him and Justin Bishop, and he asked me what I should do, and I told him. And I think it was still the right answer. It's just Justin Bishop, you're an animal. You don't need me to tell you, but
He's. I've had the pleasure of filming Justin back at the Wisconsin State Championship, and he is a bad dude. So, I mean, it was good watching the matches, but I mean, I was actually kind of shocked. I figured Justin would win, but I thought Philip might slow him down a little bit more than he did. Justin had a good day. It looked good.
his hand is incredible, man.
There was complete hand control there.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, Philip.
Yeah,
We'll have ice cream still.
Well,
I'll buy them.
Philippe is on his way up. I mean, it does not surprise me that
Of course.
Justin was successful today, but I mean, I would like to see that match again in 2 years.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I mean,
If Philippe stays injury-free, if he doesn't overtrain and go crazy,
I don't know what that term means. But
because sometimes that's what happens.
does overtraining exist?
Yes, it does. It exists.
Okay.
of course. I don't believe in it. Like Santa Claus exists too, but
Seriously?
in my heart he does, Joe.
I was lied to.
Well, he exists, but he doesn't necessarily deliver presents to everybody's house. So, not John's, but some of us still get stuff. So, I guess it really determines. I mean, whether you believe in him or not is determined by whether or not he continues to deliver presents to your house. So, clearly, we know that John's and I guess you are not getting stuff. So maybe you could clean
Naughty
up your
list.
act.
Yeah?
Yeah,
I guess.
exactly. Clean up the act.
That's good.
What else happened at other two? Anybody know what else happened at these two big tournaments that were today? The Michigan States and the New York one. Any other
I saw
interesting
Jeff
stuff?
Dave. I saw Jeff Dave did some good work out there in Michigan.
Yeah.
Left-handed. He beat Scott Ballinger, I saw, and he beat Robert Bishop.
Wow.
That's some pretty big names. I mean, Robert Bishop is not to take anything away from Scott, but those guys are like Jeff and
Who did you just say
Robert.
beat Scott Ballinger?
Jeff Dabe.
Minnesota puller, monster,
I
left-handed.
know he is.
Yeah,
I know he is.
and like it's impressive that he beat Scott, but like Robert Bishop, he's a legitimate super heavy, like, and he's a good super heavy, and I was very impressed.
Jeff looked solid today. He looked like he was in control. He pulled the monster that is Josh Reichart, left-handed. I got to
He's
see
a
video of that.
animal.
It went back and forth. There was times where both of them had position, and ultimately, from what I seen on Gina's Facebook page, that it looks like Josh won ultimately, and he did also win the round robin, right-handed.
Josh did.
Josh Reichart.
He's
yeah.
an animal. He came up to your joint
Yeah.
a month and a half, 2 months ago. When we
Yep.
trained with him. That
Yeah.
dude is strong.
Yep. Very
Super
much.
strong.
Got a lot of pictures of him. He's
been doing some big stuff. He
Wow.
won USA Nationals too.
just, 2 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago?
I don't know exactly when. I know. I believe Mike Homewood took second to him, and Mike's right there too. Mike's super strong,
Yep.
and I remember he called me up driving down there. Mike did, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm feeling really good, man. Like, I don't know, it could be a pretty good weekend for me." And I'm like, "Oh, cool." And yeah, he took second to him, so he must be a beast. Like, when
Lots of
I
power.
pulled Josh, Josh is strong as shit. So like what I'm giving him, like, he might be just being nice,
He
that
was-
kind of thing. Like, it's
That's
hard to.
exactly it, because when I pulled him at my house, he was one of the nicest pullers. He would, take and dial his power back to, somewhere
Yeah.
around my level, let me work, let me get to a hand position to where, I have, superb hook or superb, full hand top roll, and he would let me pull as hard as I could. I mean, obviously, he would let me get to a point where it's like, no, you're I'm still above the pin line, but he just wanted to let me really just hammer, and that's not always, something that you can find in a training partner, let alone a training partner where the gap is that big,
And that you
between
don't really
and
know.
them, Yeah, exactly.
I mean, he's a guest, and
I've got to meet him one other time, and that was 2 years prior at the Route 65, the second ever, and that's actually where Jeff Dabe and Josh Reichert, I believe, the first time they ever pulled. And that video is the one that they showed on the Fox interview that Jeff and I had the privilege of going on to. So it was an intense match. It was like a 30-second match, back and forth, left-handed between Jeff and Josh, and it was a war. But yeah, he's a super strong.
is he from
puller.
Kentucky?
I believe so. I want to say Kentucky or Missouri.
Okay.
I don't know for sure. I feel bad. I feel bad. It could even be Kansas. I don't think so. though.
He's
One of
not-
those K states.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Some
He's from-
state that begins with K.
He's from down there. That's all I know.
Yeah, him and Mark came up to the Route 65 back in 2014, and they had a blast.
really?
Yeah. Mark actually got a win on Jeff, and not a lot of people know that, but he did.
Oh,
He got
really?
he got a win on Jeff Dabe, left-handed. It's on my YouTube channel, but it's one of the few watched.
NBK.
Yes. Go there. Subscribe. I'm just kidding. But seriously, if you want to subscribe.
Yeah, and any NBK guys want to subscribe to the YouTube, our YouTube too.
Yes,
That'd be-
I will
That'd be
comment-
super duper cool.
I want to comment on that. You guys are killing it right now. I've kept track a little bit of your subscriber count over the last months, and you guys are doing a phenomenal job.
He keeps track better than we do, Josh,
Well, I'm just looking at it because
because he's so good at it now.
you guys are doing really good.
I think it's because we're so handsome.
That is
For the most
definitely
part.
most of it.
I would say so.
I would say a huge majority of it, but
65%.
I'm
I would say
leaning
more like
towards quality
89,
content, but
89%.
you guys can-
but hey, whatever.
No, there's at least 10% that's due to the quality content,
Yeah,
sure.
so
and then there's our
I
quick
think
wit.
definitely is a factor.
It's higher than that, but go ahead. You guys have the best thing about the show is especially for people like me and other people, if you are training in the evening, or even if you don't tune in live, you could hit it up the next day in your gym or whatever you're doing, but you can listen to it while you train. And sometimes I feel like I get better workouts listening to different viewpoints from different people, the elites, everyone.
The intro song.
Yeah, the intro song. Super good.
Who do you think is a good super match for John Cervantes right now?
John Cervantes.
Right-handed, obviously.
Yeah,
I mean, he's good
right-handed.
both, but right-hand.
I feel bad.
He's from Maine. He doesn't get out nearly as much as he should. He's a
He
absolute
should get out a
animal.
lot more because
Well,
he's a friggin' beast.
Weight
And I-
class?
95.
Well, right now he's like 215, 220, but he can make the 98s. He has in the past.
So it'd be like a meet at like 210 or something like that, or 205 super match.
Probably.
Yeah, that kind of around there. I would
What's
say
his
probably
What's his predominant style? I guess if you had to say
hook.
Yeah, hook, side pressure.
high hook, like a
He
super,
always
like
he
a
always
European
says
style.
hook, but he doesn't have a simplistic hook. He has a very, I think it's a very technically sound hook.
Yeah, he's just strong.
So
Strong arm guy.
Styles wise, I would say like a posting top roller, someone who's got a really, like almost nasty posting top roll. That'd be for styles wise, that'd make for a good match. Whoever gets to their move, it's gonna, dictate. See what happens.
Yeah, John's a very strong.
Or do you just want to see
guy.
a hook war?
Yeah, right.
I want to see him in a war, man.
And this is
We need to
obviously
get this guy out there more.
November 5th, correct?
He actually did pretty damn well in the 225s at WAL this year. And he's a natural 195 or 198, so that tells you something.
Right. Yeah, he's strong as shit.
No weight cap. Like, are you talking right hand or left hand?
Right.
Right hand.
He does both, but I think John would agree that he's stronger right-handed.
Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say like, I don't know if you wanted to set up a super nasty hook match with him for somebody. I guess if he does pull 225s, but everybody likes to see Tim Lewis in a hook. Can't really go wrong there. He likes to pull the big guys in a hook as well. I don't know. I don't know that much of John. but
Right, yeah.
I just know that when it comes to hooks and on the East Coast, Tim Lewis definitely comes to mind. Pretty much in any weight class, even if he likes to get crazy and go to 165,
I love Tim Lewis, but I think Cervantes would
handle him.
John's got
Too
a...
much.
would not handle him. It would be I think it would be comical, to be honest with you.
Oh,
And again, I think Tim's awesome, but Cervantes is the real deal. Like he's the only guy in the 98s up here that can legitimately give RVJ a hard time right-handed, for example.
right-handed.
So
Yeah.
Well-
yeah.
He's a beast.
RVJ.
Yeah, they've gone. They pull each other like a million times.
Oh, okay, I get that.
Herman Stevens would be perfect, but
That's like a full.
the guy's in demand. He's in demand.
He is. He's a hot item right now. That's what
is.
That's what I say.
He,
But Herman would be
you're a hot
that'd be a
item.
fun match, actually.
yes.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
Herman, come up to
somebody
New
like-
England. We're
you know,
not that
to
far
me,
away, man.
like someone like Bill Logg's gonna be fun too.
Oh yeah,
In my
that would be
opinion.
good.
Yeah, I think that'd be fun.
That would be a great conflicting style.
That's what
match.
I'm
Ooh,
thinking.
Herman actually just said Chase Stratton. That's a good one.
There you go,
Dude, Herman, you're the man. That's a great idea.
Yeah,
Herman. It's a
good one. For
Good one,
sure.
Herman. And
It's
John
a good way to
Cervantes.
get. He always comes up with something that takes him out of the picture, which is annoying. I guess I just have to deal with it.
Isn't it strange like that? Immediately, nobody said
He's
it.
too smart.
We're just
Herman's
like
too
we
smart.
dropped the
That's
subject
the
of having Herman pull.
Yeah.
Immediately.
He's good at that. He's good at that.
I see Cervantes asked me when I'm going to be back in New England. At New England's, John.
November
5th.
5th.
I will be there.
See, what you should do is you should road trip out there, and then I'll ride with instead
you
of
should
flying.
Come, man.
I'm not driving.
I know.
You should come though.
I'd love to. I just flying and all that stuff. Yeah, it's tight budget right now. School started again, all that good stuff. So
Maybe if you give them one of those shirts, they'll let you on for free.
Right?
It's worth trying.
it is.
Yeah.
It is.
Hey TSA, I'm a natural born killer. Let me
Yeah.
on the plane for free, please.
Yeah. I don't want to get like cavity searched. Hardly
I
ever.
walk in with like sweatpants and a tie-dye shirt, and I'm like, peace, brother. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm good.
You're about to be randomly selected.
Yeah. Oh, it's weird. Actually, you've been selected for the X-ray and the random strip search. So
Weird, right?
we're gonna look at you naked first, and then we're gonna touch you everywhere for purposes that
You're
don't
welcome.
really need it. Yeah. Oh man, I don't like airports. I've only been to one. I've only flown on one commercial flight. It was a good experience, but
I got to sleep in the Chicago airport. That was fun.
I slept.
So,
on the plane.
questions coming in
Ooh.
for people. This is a good question because we talk about this all the time, but let's talk about it again. So this guy, whose name is I Shot Legend,
The sheriff? Oh,
which is
sorry.
an interesting name. We'll have to ask him what that means. But anyway, hey fellas, quick question. I have a competition coming up on October 15th. When should I stop training leading up to this competition?
Depends on what kind of training he's talking about. Weight training or table training.
And I would also say how long you've been pulling.
Well, let's answer both. I will stop arm wrestling because I'm 45 and old. I will usually give myself, before a tournament that I really care about, 10 days. I won't pull. But weight training, I will do basically straight through. I won't do heavy stuff in the last 6 or 7 days, but I will still, do recovery style weights like high repetitions, low weight, that kind of stuff.
Well, that answers it. That's virtually identical to what I do. Same thing.
Yeah,
10 days
not
for
much different
pulling,
for me.
and I still always do high rep, high volume, low weight, all the time.
Yeah,
It's identical.
If I really care about the tournament as well, it'll be, usually if I'm going to pull a Saturday, I'll pull the last Thursday before, so 9 days, but 9, 10, whatever. And then I usually will continue heavy work, but not real heavy, but pretty moderate. But it'll probably be about 5 days before, and then I'll continue the high rep stuff until a couple of days, And really, it depends if you have to make a weight class as well. You're probably better off focusing on making your diet perfect if you have to make a weight class.
Yep.
That's when that time period is great, is to really clean up your diet too and make sure that you're going to be exactly where you want to be. If you have to cut a little bit of water the day before, something like that, you want to no surprises. You want to know exactly where you're going.
Yep.
So,
One thing that irritates me about that is that when you go to tournaments when they're like you have to be 154 exactly,
yeah.
the scales that we use, particularly even, if you're using a spring scale, like an old school one, they're not reliable at all, so you might as well just guess what they
Yep.
weigh.
No, I
But
totally
if using
agree.
a digital scale, even the best ones have between a 0.2 and a 0.4 pound variance.
Oh, big time.
I would
So
say,
when
yeah.
if you're insisting on 154, I always say 154.9 just to account for the variance in the scales. And it irritates me when people don't do that because you could very well be legitimately 154 and the scale's off by up to 0.4 pounds.
Yep.
So, speaking of what you're talking about, I've never missed weight. I'm usually exactly on weight,
Yeah.
and I'm very serious about it, and I cut in a very, strategic fashion. So that's one problem I have with our sport is that, our scales are bullshit. Unless you're going to get $1,000 scale, which nobody really does.
Or if everyone agrees to use the same cheap scale, because then there would have to be some sort of, you would think the differences would be less if everyone was using, like, say, the same $20 whatever brand cheap scale, digital glass scale, or however you look at it. Because I ran into this problem for Minnesota States. I was heavy for my initial weigh, and I had to make 176. I believe half pound was allowed, 176.5, but the scales were 0.2 increments. Yeah, 0.2 pound increments. I weighed in heavy the first time, so I went and sweated out enough weight to make weight, but still, I had to make 176.4, and who knows exactly what I weighed, because
Right.
you would weigh one time, and it was even said to weigh once, get off, weigh again, and it's almost guaranteed it'll weigh you a pound lighter. Well, I don't like to hear that. That makes me think this scale is, like, suspect already.
Yeah, it is suspect, and there's no excuse for it because of the influx of German technology into the scales. For $30, you can get an Amazon scale that is basically nearly as accurate as a $1,000 scale. Again, it has a 0.2 to 0.4 pound variance.
Okay.
But it will weigh you exactly the same weight every time you get on it, which is one of the cool things.
That's one of
So
the
if you
hard
get on
things
it,
to find.
if you get on and off of it 10 times, it'll give you the exact same weight 10 times until someone else stands on it. So those are the ones I use, and people make fun of them because they're bathroom scales. And I was like, listen, you find me a more accurate scale, I'll buy it. But this one's got like 5,000 reviews all saying the same thing. I use this for my wrestling tournaments. This is what I use to prepare for the professional scales.
Right.
So that's why we use them.
Do you have the brand by any chance? I hate to do like name drop for them. I mean,
There's two that are good. One of them is called Balance From, and that's the one that I have. There's another good one called, I don't know, it might be Neo Scale. I don't remember the name of the other one, but Balance From is the one that I have two of. I use them at all the tournaments.
Oh, nice.
And I tell people in advance, but I also give that 0.9. So if it's a 150, if you have to make 154, you can make up to 154.9 because then nobody can say shit. If you're not within 0.9 pounds on a scale like
done.
that, then
It's over.
then you're heavy. Exactly.
Yeah.
So
A pound.
But-
It's a pound. You're giving a pound,
Right.
and if people are a pound over or more, well,
I don't like when people come in.
You missed weight. Period.
Exactly. If they're 155.1, I'm like, listen, man. Let me give you an example. At the Boston City Championships, Mark Piatek, he weighed in at like 155.8. And then he went out into his truck. He turned the heat on. He put on a sauna suit and sat there for 30 minutes.
Holy.
He came back and he made weight.
Yep.
So I'm not going to let the next guy who comes in and he weighs in at 155.1. I'm like, Mark's out there freaking sweating his ass off in a van for 30 minutes
Yep.
trying to make weight and doing it. I'm not cutting you slack. It's
Yep.
154.9. That's what you got to make.
No free passes.
Yeah, especially when the
And it's,
guy next to you did it.
Yep.
He busted
Exactly.
his ass to do it.
Yep. That's
So you
what
got
I
to
did.
respect that. This same guy's asking us about weight cut. He said he walks around 225 and wants to cut to 210. My personal advice about that is if you're under 40, cutting more than 10 pounds is doable, but I don't think it's necessarily that smart, especially if you only have a couple hours to rehydrate. The most I do is 10,
I
and it's
agree.
different if you're over 40 because you have to worry more about organ failure and that kind of stuff, so I don't play around with more than that. But if you're younger, you can do 15 or 20 pounds. It's just murderous. So I think it's better to stay within 10 pounds of whatever weight you're going to weigh in at, and you can say legitimately that you are close to that weight normally, so it's not like you're cutting 40 pounds like Hutchings does to make 195.
Yeah, it really
You're
it all
almost dying.
it all kind of boils down to how well you like torture, and how lean you are to begin with. If you're gonna
Yeah, that's
15
true.
pounds is a lot, man. Like, I'm not the leanest dude, but for me to pull 65s, I walk around right now at like 177, 178. I don't really like the
That's
idea.
what I used to do. I used to
re-
make 65s at that weight.
I really don't like the idea of doing that cut to 65 because I will make no, hidden thoughts about it. I know I'm weaker at that. In that condition, I will not have the raw power that I do now. And if I can just not drink water for a couple hours or 6-8 hours and make 76s and be happy, because I film the entire tournament, women's, kids, novice, pros, and then I get to pull pretty much at the end of the tournament. So for me to be healthy and, be able to eat and not cut is detrimental to like how well the videos look and how well I pull. So, yeah.
Yeah, you'll hear stories, and people are talking about it right now online. You can cut 20 pounds, and there's two ways to approach it really. And the one way is your short period, short time limit weight cut. So for example, you lose 10 pounds in 6 hours, which is what I usually do. And then the other way is that you trim your diet down to 1,800 calories or what have you, and lose 5 or 6 pounds the week or two before, and then cut another 10 on the last day. But I don't like that particular strategy because I do feel weaker if I'm restricting my caloric intake.
Yeah.
Whereas if I cut 10 pounds in 6 hours just by doing hot baths or sauna or a steam room or whatever, I rehydrate it all within an hour and a half and I feel fine.
Right.
So to me, that's less disruptive than cutting the calories and then trying to losing 10 pounds over the course of 10 days versus in 6 hours. But other people feel differently.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you, Josh. We've had that discussion plenty of times. I like to lose it. I'll eat the same day if I weigh in like that.
So you're saying you like to lose a lot of weight the day
Quickly.
of?
quickly,
Yeah.
as fast as I can.
Because
hot
it's all
baths.
water weight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll eat that same day, so that way when I'm cutting, I
Yeah.
still have, I'm not. I might feel like shit, but it's not from caloric deficiency. It's just from water and salt and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
so that's what I do too. I usually will not have a big dinner. I'll have a dinner, and I'll be like 207, and then I will
this
cut
is the night before.
Correct. So then at like 9 p.m., after I had a light dinner, I figure I weigh like 207, 207.6, something like that. Then I'll take a series, because I don't have a sauna or a steamer in my house. I'll just take a series of like 20-minute super hot baths. I'll do 2 or 3 of them, and I lose like, 1.5 to 2.5 pounds for each one. Then you lose a pound sleeping overnight just through respiration. And if necessary, I'll do another one in the morning, but usually I don't have to. And I go weigh in, and then I have like 2 hours to, drink Powerades and stuff like that, and I feel fine.
Yep.
Whew. Yeah, I've only done the whole hot bath thing one time, and it about killed me. I don't know.
Yeah,
if,
it sounds very
honestly, yeah, you guys make it sound. You make it sound so easy.
You just lay there in a
Josh.
hot
It's
bath.
not easy. It's not easy.
When
It
I
sucks.
did,
And by the way, I wouldn't do any of this stuff without talking to your doctor first, so don't take our advice.
Yeah,
'cause
we're
just
certainly
idiots.
we're just morons who sweat a lot and then we're lighter. That's certainly not anything to listen to. But
yeah, no, you guys make it sound like when I did it,
No, it's torture.
yeah, it
it's
is
torture.
I
But it's shorter.
Yeah.
It's shorter torture than torturing yourself for a whole week not eating.
I like eating a lot.
yeah, I did.
So awesome.
I'm actually hungry right now.
It's
so
actually one of the
stop.
best things that's ever happened.
Stop.
Is eating.
I'm hungry right now. We
I
pulled.
just went out for Indian food, and then I went to Dairy Queen afterwards.
What'd you get at Dairy Queen? I'm curious.
I got
Blizzard?
I got a large soft serve with chocolate sprinkles in Massachusetts. We call them Jimmy's, but they didn't know what they were, so I had to
Oh,
say
boy.
chocolate sprinkles.
Yeah. They didn't know what those were?
I didn't.
Yeah,
know.
you're
That's
up.
only Massachusetts. You go outside of Massachusetts,
Southern
people look
New
at you
Hampshire,
like you're an
too.
idiot.
Southern New Hampshire too.
Now I
Trust
want
me.
Dairy Queen.
That's my shit.
Dairy Queen is really pretty good, I have to
It's
say.
pretty goddamn good.
It's awesome. They got this new Blizzard out right now. I hate to do this. I mean, this is like product placement crap.
He's like, please don't talk about food, but about
This
Dairy
is-
Queen.
It's one of the best Blizzards I've had so far, and it's the Monster Cookie, like oatmeal style cookie with like peanut butter chips and M&Ms or whatever. It's good. I mean,
It's what life is all about, guys.
it's like if you're cutting weight and you've had one of those prior to your weight cutting cycle, it's one of those items of food where you're like, oh, fuck it, I'm gonna have one.
Yeah, me and Klemba, whenever we'd have a big tournament, we would always on the way back stop for a milkshake, like the victory milkshake.
Yep.
Even if we lost.
Even if you,
It used to be-
consolation milkshake.
I remember when we first started pulling with him, he was traveling. He goes, I only get this if I win.
Oh no,
And
I
then-
wouldn't get any milkshake.
And then when we went somewhere and he took second, and he's like, I'm getting a milkshake, goddamn it. And I'm like, it's all right, dude, fine.
I'll let it slide.
Yeah, we'll let it slide this
Ron.
one time, and then we let it slide every time after that.
Nice.
Because come on, after cutting all that weight and stuff,
You have to reward yourself. It's those little rewards that make it worth it. You know, it just and then
like
that
milkshakes
way-
from Dairy Queen.
Yep.
That's the beauty of strength sports, though. You can do that kind of thing. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
No, you can't because
Patty Woods just said that my recommendation of Powerades is no good, and that you should do Pedialyte. So I'm going to comment on that because this whole electrolyte thing that people talk about drives me freaking batty.
Please
Because,
go. Go, Josh, go.
aren't electrolytes electrolytes?
Their electrolytes are electrolytes, exactly.
Is there
And,
quality in you know?
No, see, the thing that people don't get about diet in general is that, your body, your stomach has hydrochloric acid in it.
And
And it destroys everything, and it gets broken down to the chemical compounds. So the chemical formulas of whatever you have in your food or drink is what matters, not the source, not whether it's organic or GMO or whatever else. It's just fucking food, So
Hold
you
on,
eat it.
Josh. You telling
and
me?
through something.
Are you telling me, Josh, that if I buy the extra oxygenated water, that I'm getting fooled? You can think again, Josh.
Okay, we're opening up a big can of worms.
I hope so, man. Pedialyte is awesome. I know a ton of ultra runners that take Pedialyte. So it's really the difference between Pedialyte, Gatorade, Powerade, Tailwind, and all that kind of stuff is your personal preference. What works best, what you digest better. Some people can digest sugar. Some people, it makes them feel sick, so
Right.
Pedialyte would be better for them.
Yep.
Or Tailwind is another amazing product, since we're calling out products left and
I know,
right. Tailwind
right?
is something that Ultra
What's up,
Runner,
Tailwind?
I love that stuff. I think it's awesome. But anyway, whatever you like, what makes you feel good, that's what you should eat. And that's what you should drink.
I would
And
have
that's why I
to,
had fucking Dairy Queen tonight.
and now I want it again. I had actually forgotten about it. You brought it up again. Now I want Dairy. Is there a Dairy Queen nearby?
I don't know.
Google it.
For me, it's like I climbed, so I feel like I earned it. So I don't know if you feel like you need to climb a mountain to get it first.
Well, we did have a good practice.
I didn't climb a literal mountain, but I would say the last 2 days it was a mountain of training. So I'm gonna go ahead and count that as worth it for a blizzard. I am. Yeah, dick.
I was there for all of it. All right.
Yeah, he handed
I was
out
the causer of it.
Yeah, I was like he handed out, at least 80% of the punishment. So
Punishment.
well, training,
medicine.
learning, pain, weakness
Makes you feel better
leaving the
later.
body. Yes. I hope to just recover enough, for work on Monday. So I don't want to be sore.
This is perfect. Really.
It is.
I love when my training partners say this kind of thing.
Well, I didn't expect to even have nearly as much power as I had today.
And
I
see what
thought-
happened? You
know.
tried something and you said, I did better than I thought I was going to.
Yeah, I was a lot stronger today than
If
I
you never
thought I
listened to
would
me, where would you be?
be. I'd be
You'd be home right now, not in pain. Probably still
talking.
eating
I'd be
Dairy
talking
Queen.
about training is what I'd be doing. I'd be like, man, I'm gonna totally work my hook in my top roll, dude.
You wouldn't be on this podcast.
No, I wouldn't. And hey, this is a good time.
Pretty dope, right?
Yeah, this is actually a really good time.
Pretty fly.
Yeah, I was on Arm Wrestling Nation radio, within the first year that I started, arm wrestling and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But it was just over a phone, and it didn't really have this has a pretty cool feel to it. I mean, it's
Well, I'm here, so.
in case all you listeners.
Deafening silence.
Yeah, awkward silence. But in case the listeners don't know, John's kind of a big deal. So he has a shirt.
Josh's face. He's like,
He has a shirt that he wore to a practice that says, "I'm kind of a big deal."
Do I have one?
Dude, that day of that practice, I said it 18,000 times. I was like, guys, I'm kind of a big deal. And it was poking fun at your shirt. You have to remember this.
I don't remember.
Okay. I am going to I'm going to share a picture to the Facebook Hand Control Worldwide page from that practice where you had the shirt that says, "I'm kind of a big deal." I'm going to do it.
Did really?
It's over. It's done. Tonight it'll go down. Yes, you have that shirt. I promise you. Because
That makes me sound pretentious.
he's kind of a big deal.
I didn't think I did.
Oh,
I'm an
my
idiot,
God.
guys. See, don't listen to us about cutting weights. I can't even remember what shirts I own.
Yes.
Herman Stevens just said he did a 5-hour practice after fasting for 4.5 days, and he still felt good.
You're not human, Herman, so
I just called him a robot, so
it doesn't count.
I felt fine, guys.
It doesn't count. That's ridiculous. Wow.
it is ridiculous. Herman, come on, man. You got to give the rest of us a shot here, buddy.
Yeah.
Stop testing things that work and getting stronger.
Plus, all these videos that he shows are totally demoralizing, and these big guys get up there and they're like, "Argh," and he's just like, "Are you ready?" Blam! Love it.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I loved watching. I watched the initial posting of his video from last year's 9/11 when he kind of loaded up the superpower hit for Jonathan Hoffman, right-handed, and watching it again. I think it was today. He posted the memory of it, and
Yeah.
when you see that coming, you're just like, oh yeah, this is Herman.
I can't wait to see him in PAL. Is it September 24th, I think?
What is this?
He's pulling a PAL.
I haven't heard
Sixth
this.
rounder. He's pulling a PAL again.
Yeah, I was
It's not
like,
his first
again,
time.
but who?
Who is it? Gasparini? Is that his last name?
Hermes?
Yeah.
No way. Wow, this is gonna be good.
6 rounds. Yeah, I think so too. I think it's a great opportunity for. I mean, we all know Herman, but because of how Herman's chosen to, continue his career, which is basically dude, on his terms.
This is excellent.
Then it's just great for his name, because we all know Herman, but I don't know how much the world knows Herman.
Oh,
And they really should.
I think a lot of people know Herman.
Well, I hope
do.
so, because he's
I
a
really
fucking
do.
animal.
I was even gonna almost ask. Nobody asked this before, but in Herman's episode, Hand Control Worldwide, he held up the shirt that had his face on it.
That was a great shirt.
Pullerville.com, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Nobody asked how do they get one or if they can get one. I will be the first person to ask, how do you get one?
I know, we all need one.
Because I want one.
Me and Josh should certainly get one.
I
Yeah.
think we should.
We debuted it on the show.
yeah, we debuted it.
Yeah. We at least made it
want
popular.
one. And I'm assuming that you could probably message the Pullerville website, probably get a hold of one of the guys. But I'm figured straight from Herman, he'll probably know how to get one if you can.
He's coming on the show soon, right? We kind of like.
Yeah,
I think we
Herman's
mentioned
going to
it.
come on the show.
Yeah, we wanted to
I
have
think
him on
we should
before.
Herman on every week.
Maybe I'll interview him when I
mean come
go out
on
to
again?
California. Yeah.
I was like, he was already on, man.
No, we wanted to have him
Yeah.
on before PAL.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, I would say you have to.
Maybe I'll bring my laptop out west and just like hold the microphone. Like, what do you think, Herman, about stuff? Go.
I think that'd be a good idea.
Does that sound good, Herman?
Or if nothing else, bring your GoPro with for sure. I think it would be a great opportunity.
I'll interview with it on my head.
Vazgen just said that the Vendetta on September 24th is canceled.
What? Is it really?
Hermes must have been. He must have come to his senses and said, "I don't want to play that guy."
That
No,
sucks.
he said no.
Well, sorry, Herman. I was excited.
It might still happen. You never know.
Well, hopefully,
Maybe in a
or at least
month or two, or
yeah.
maybe they could fly Hermes.
You know,
over.
one
Is
thing
the
that-
whole thing
I mean,
canceled,
Herman
or is
over
it
there.
just that match?
one thing that we can hope for is, I don't know, in the past, vendettas have moved around, dates, changed, stuff
Right,
like that.
yeah, exactly.
Never know. Next week, maybe it's back on, and we're good to go, and our hopes are back up. So,
Yeah, I'd like to see Herman get out there quite a bit more against like international.
Herman is always welcome to come up on November 5th to New England and pull somebody.
Yeah, buddy, you can hang out with me and Josh.
That's right.
It'll be awesome.
Dude, that's like pretty much the most epic day you can have other than going to like Cedar Point or something.
You guys think it's really exciting, over the internet? It's way cooler.
in person, it's too much for most people. They can't take it.
My New England accent comes out.
So if you ever you see us live and you wonder why nobody's talking to us, it's because people can't they can't handle it. So they need to give us maybe 10, 15 feet away. It's usually what people do.
Yeah.
So it's not that they don't like us or they don't like the show. It's just that we're really just kind of like you said, kind of a big deal.
It's
Big
a
deal.
huge
You know,
deal.
With that level of celebrity, there comes a certain reticence of people to come over and talk to us. So,
yes.
But we're really down to earth, so you should come over
Yes,
if you want
no
an autograph
problem,
or
guys.
anything like that. No problem.
Yeah, just not as long as we're eating, as long as we're not talking to each other. It can't be any for more than 12 seconds. We will not sign stuff
No autographs.
because you might sell it
please.
on eBay. I don't want you to do that shit. You're not making money off my name.
Yeah. Copyright.
Even though
infringement.
you think my name's real? John Brown, really?
I know. It's so fake. Fuck.
It is.
It's fake.
Why do you think I ran away?
JB. It's bullshit.
Yeah, well,
It's not real.
why do you think I ran out to the the Midwest?
Minnesota. It's a good place to hide.
Minnesota, nice guys.
Yep. It's a good place. It's a good place. We're glad to have you, man.
Matt Ellis says John Brown should get a Vendetta super match.
What?
I would agree with that. I think you should.
Give me one. Come on, Igor.
I would agree, and now I'm just racking my brain for who I would like to see number one.
Corey Miller, left-handed.
There you go. Done. Easy as that. I don't even. I mean, it would have taken me probably another 20 seconds to think of that, and I probably wouldn't even have thought of that. But that left-handed, let's make it happen.
I will do it.
Because we don't have to worry. That match you wouldn't have to worry because Corey's not a WALer, John's not a WALer. We don't have to worry about nothing. It just make it happen.
I'm game.
That's the
PAL.
first thing that I thought about. I was like, okay, let me think of a dude who isn't pulling WAL that can, because Vendetta is going to obviously be on TV and streamed, and that's deal breaker. So.
Right. I would absolutely pull Corey. We pulled once, maybe 4 years ago, in Maryland, and I will say, very few people have ever hit me so hard just pure side pressure.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. But I mean, I was fairly ready for it because of Klumba. Ron Klumba is very similar if he wants to, and Corey Bresnan also. If he wants to tee off on you, it's bad news. and but I stopped it for a split second, and he kind of just hit me so hard sideways that he didn't give up his wrist so much, but it was like really really flat. And I got a little bit on it, but my elbow came off the side of the pad and I got pinned. So they called it, but Corey didn't hear it get called. So it kind of went go, and then I'll tell you the adjustment that guy made to come back up and get my fingers in press, like after I stopped pulling. But how fast he adjusted, I was like, holy shit.
The flash?
Yeah, I mean, but the thing was the flash of the move, but then the adjustments afterwards, I'm like, wow, this guy is like technician too. Like, I was very impressed.
Yeah, well, you know that's got to be the truth because nobody gets that good just with the speed. There's things that we don't detect in the speed that when you get to pull them in person, you feel.
Exactly.
A lot of people won't see and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And people like Travis and Corey are really good at hiding it, so you can't pick it up on video, no matter how many times you watch it. But then when you pull them, then you start, you may pick up a little bit every time.
You're exactly right. I know exactly what you're saying. You don't know what it's like until you have a pressure to try to adjust to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's hidden in between those palms. For sure. But yeah, I would absolutely pull Corey in a 6th rounder. I mean, I think it'd be...
Mm-hmm.
I think I would need the luck of the gods above, but I would definitely do it.
That'd be awesome.
That would be awesome.
I think I don't know. PLL,
Brad
please.
Spine. I think Brad Spine is too light for John, but Brad Spine should get a Vendetta match. All those videos he's putting up with his body weight strength stuff are very impressive.
how much
I love
does
that
Brad
kind
weigh
of stuff.
now?
Man.
He's he pulled 150.
Did he?
I think he can make 143 if memory serves. So
I pulled Brad on the after pulling quite a bit, and that's some crazy, just like even underneath side pressure.
Yeah,
Unbelievably strong.
he's powerful.
I know he pulls 54s, and he got a win on Yosef last year at Illinois State's in the 65s, I believe.
Yeah.
I want to say left hand? Ooh, might have been right, though. Don't quote me. I don't know for sure. You can watch the Illinois State videos on Josh Handelin's YouTube channel. Good matches from that tournament. And that tournament is one that I would love to make it to. So, a lot of guys show up to that one.
Yeah, I just remember pulling Brad after for quite a while. After AAA's Nationals last year, I believe. And I was just like, wow. For a guy who's that compact and that weight, I was like, wow, just crazy strong, but really like very explosive too, like a real athlete. You know what I mean? Like you said, what he's been posting and everything, what he's been doing with his body weight exercises. Just a crazy athlete. Like that, I think that dude, like if he really focused on, he's one of those guys, like almost like Vovoda, where if he focused on doing anything, he could be good at it.
Yep.
Yeah. Well,
I believe Vovoda's the same way. You know, whatever sport that
you
guy
think we're going to
chooses-
see him again, John?
I really hope so. I really, really, really hope so. Coming back and giving, you know, Tim Bresnan some trouble. There's no shame in that. Like, you are a bad man, Alexei Vovoda. Don't ever forget that shit.
Yeah.
I mean, Tim might have won, and he might have won, you know, the score is, 5-1, seems lopsided. But it wasn't an easy match. Tim might have been
tough.
Tim was in control, but it was, he's strong as shit.
Yeah, that's exactly
I would love to
what
see
would
Alexei
say.
versus like Krasny. I think that'd be a phenomenal match.
I'll give the edge to Alexei, but yeah,
I would too in certain
great
positions.
to see. Yeah,
I think Krasny gets in his position where he's nice and wrapped around and gets his elbow tucked in there really good like that, like he does.
that's gonna be a long day.
And it's gonna take some real effort to pin that dude. I think, and Alexei's bigger, but Krasny walks around sometimes at 240, 245.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's not that far.
He's not
behind.
small. No, I really think it'd be great. And over 6 rounds, Krasny has some great endurance too.
Yo.
So yeah, I think Alexei, please come back. You have plenty of go in you.
It's interesting with this guy because he had such a massive amount of success in arm wrestling. He left. He gets 2 gold medals. He plays around with the judo. I don't think he did as well in that. But, the bobsledding, it's 2 gold medals. And then to come back and to not be instantly back where he was or not be of the, his perception of what the top of his game should be, sometimes that can rustle your jimmies. And he hasn't posted any kind of weightlifting or arm wrestling stuff since, at least not that I've seen passed around or on his page or anything. So
Right.
it wouldn't surprise me if that was it and he was like, fuck this.
It wouldn't surprise me either. I would think maybe he's just done with it too. I mean, I don't know. He's done a lot of work.
Could definitely be.
Did you notice that him and Cyplenkov were training like crazy, and Cyplenkov was saying, "I'm not arm wrestling anymore." And then when Alexei lost to Tim, Cyplenkov was suddenly back. Maybe it's a coincidence, but they were training together, and I was thinking that Cyplenkov was like saying, "Well, you do your thing, we'll see what happens." And then Alexei may have backed out, and he's back. And Cyplenkov's back competing again,
I got you. Yeah, I didn't.
Because they're buddies.
Yeah, I didn't really put that
go up
together.
against each other.
I didn't really put that together, but
well,
makes
it's what you call a hypothetical situation that it could be a complete fallacy. But I just had to throw it out there anyway.
Could be.
Yeah, and I think we want to talk about matches that already happened too with PAL. Man, I think Michael Todd and Dennis. That could go any way.
We talked about that
anytime.
last week. I mean, yeah, I think that needs to happen.
It needs to happen
Shooting
again.
outside your place?
You can hear that, huh? I'm in New Hampshire, man.
Yeah,
if
dude,
you have a shotgun, you're legally obligated to shoot it off at this time of night.
It's quite true.
I know.
This microphone's really good. If you guys,
It's
can
a
hear that.
really good microphone because in my headphones I hear weapon fire right now.
Yeah,
Definitely.
there's shotguns going off in the woods.
That was a good one.
Yeah, that one sounded like it was like, dude,
They're actually pretty rhythmic. It could possibly be fireworks. I have headphones in, so I can't hear it as well as you guys. It might be fireworks.
Yeah, he can only hear his. He can only
Anyway,
hear
so
our mics.
you guys are like enjoying my vacation too.
Yeah, it's really good.
I am.
It makes me
I
miss
am-
my home.
Yes, I'm enjoying your vacation.
But yeah, I think
Pretty righteous.
I think their first match there, I think Michael really gave some stuff away. I really do. I mean, and I love Michael Todd. He's a great dude. And
He's going to Zloty. Did you pick up on that? Did
No.
you hear that?
is he?
Yeah, he's going to Zloty.
Ooh.
He's going to Zloty, and he posted something that he's planning on shocking the world.
Well, I hope he does.
Was that?
I tell you what, he's going to be tough in a tournament setting because he doesn't burn out like other people do because he has more, significant resting positions that other people don't have.
Yep.
So you could see him going through people, and even if he ended up in the losers bracket, he would. I mean, there's very few people that are going to beat him. Period. And if he can come back, up the B side and feel, relatively strong in comparison to say like Pushkar and Saipenkov beat the crap out of each other or something like that, he could pull some stuff off.
Hell yeah, that guy is capable of doing anything like that anywhere, especially with that style. It's just the way it is. Like if you don't finish it, and he gets comfortable, good luck to you.
The longer the match goes on, depending on who the opposing puller is, I'm just like, oh man, you got to pin him. The longer you pull him,
Exactly.
he's only going to keep getting more, and just it's harder. And then the next match is even that much more hard because you spent so much energy and time on this first match when you were in a losing position or he was comfortable. It's like pulling Michael Todd is not an easy thing.
No, that's a very hard, especially like if he does get confident in
Yeah.
the middle of that, because we had Mike on and he's like, dude, I'm a wreck the whole week before. I'm like, I'm definitely gonna lose. There's no way I'm winning. And he goes, as soon as like something happens, whether I slip or I control him or something happens, I just go, I'm the man. And if
Yeah.
he starts feeling that in the middle of a match, you're probably in some serious trouble. And he's always been that. He's always been in that way. He's always been that way. Even like there was a time where Michael was he kind of took some time off, not a real long time, but nobody had seen him for a while, and then he pulled Ron Bath in this super match. Like we was at Texas State,
Right hand, left hand?
right hand, and he was just like nobody had seen him for a while. He came back, he was a little smaller, he's just like, yeah, I haven't really been pulling. I've been focusing on like getting my image out there and stuff like that, and He's like, yeah, I'm here to pull Ron, but it's just for fun, all that kind of stuff. This was like right after the Mohegan Sun tournament where Ron beat John Brzenk. He looked phenomenal. And they start pulling, and Ron pretty much goes right through him, the first match. And there was one match in there where Michael hung him up, and that dude turned it right on. He just turned into an animal. That's how close it is to Mike all the time. Like, yeah, I haven't really been doing much. I'm just here for fun, all that kind of stuff. And as soon as he gets into a match, he's like, yeah, let's keep doing this shit. Let's go. And it's like, dude, if you get that guy to come out, and he's in the shape that he, like for Pushkar, if he's in that shape, you got a hard day coming. Because I think personally, the last, however many years since he hurt his left arm, I think when he pulled Pushkar, he was in the best shape so far. Because he was super big, he was super strong, and he was kind of lean. You know what I mean? He's probably 260, 265. Instead of this big 285 guy who's pulling Devin and getting tired.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think he still looked good in that match.
He did.
Versus Devin. That's one of my...
But I think it was like the best combination of the two.
No, I agree. Definitely.
Because he definitely did look good against Devin. But
yeah, that was, to date, that's one of my favorite super matches. Number one would be Ron and Devin, but...
That first one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, Devin, where there's a lot of black and white, if not all black and white.
That's from 10 years ago.
Yeah.
2006.
It was one of the first arm wrestling videos I watched, like, ever on YouTube, and I was just like, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, those two were, like, so even back then. And they never pulled. That was the first time they ever pulled right-handed.
Oh, my gosh.
And everybody's like, these guys could, like, potentially pull for, like, 45 minutes. Because, Ron has incredible endurance. And especially at that time, he was, 10 years younger. He had even better endurance. And Devin was an up-and-coming, younger guy with great endurance. So they're like, these guys could, like, they're going to do the same exact thing to each other. And they just, who's going to kill each other? Whose arm's going to fall off, basically?
Who's going to
Did you guys watch any of the Asian Arnolds?
Yeah, I did.
No.
I watched, what's his name? I don't know the names of a lot of the Malaysian pullers, but I watched the finals between Malaysia and Kazakhstan. I believe the guy from Malaysia just, after the falls happened, he smashed him pretty good. And then Lars. I watched all of Lars's matches. Those were predictable. I knew he was going to flop wrist press. I mean, everyone is as comfortable as they feel when they get, dominant hand control and position. That guy can press through, like, anyone.
Anybody? Yeah,
like,
it seems that way.
Virtually anyone. I mean, very few. I watched him press through Richard Lupke's, so, I mean, come on. The guy's
and that kind of move, like, people make big mistakes with that move, too. That rowing back.
Yeah, they keep going back. When
that's
that's
a guy like that, you're almost helping him.
Yeah.
Because they don't mind. It's like Jerry, they don't mind pinning him on their side a little bit.
No, not at all.
That's why Travis and Jerry were such a bad match for so long.
When you're pulling back like that and they're still committed to the dead wrist press, it lets them keep power the whole time because as you're going this way, it works out for them. It really does.
And there's that split second of momentum too when you're flying back and they're flying forward.
Yep.
Well, that's bad news for the guy coming back.
Yep.
Unless you have like a crazy bicep. And their press isn't really that good. You know what I mean? But
no, I agree.
I was actually impressed with Richard because you're probably talking about the arm wars.
Yep, arm wars.
Yep. Yeah, Lars and Richard. And I was very impressed with Richard, the switch. Because he's a guy that doesn't switch a lot of times. Because he doesn't usually have to, right? Usually he's winning, so why would you switch?
Yeah, usually it's just...
He switched and pushed super hard, and it's like, oh, yeah, that worked. And Lars is like, shit.
Yeah.
This guy's a mountain.
Ryan Bowen wants to point out that the Aussies did well in the 95 kilogram class. Danny Tesh won.
Yes.
Shout out Australia.
Yeah, I did actually watch that.
Pretty good pullers there.
It's super really cool to see like places like that come on. Like
they're coming up, man. They're coming up.
Well, the thing is, it's cool because we get to watch it happen. Like, I came into the sport and everybody's already in it, right? Like U.S.
I think I mentioned to Ryan when we had him on the show that Australia is always. This year was actually an exception, but typically they're very high up the medal count in the Summer Olympics, despite the fact that they have a very small population, comparatively speaking. So they're serious about sports. When they get into them, they improve very quickly and they can do some serious damage. So. Won't be surprised if they continue to do well over there. Maybe Ryan will pick up some titles too. We're going to see him at the Worlds. And Kathy Merrill says hi, John, and she misses you, and she's going to Worlds with me. So we're going to have fun over there.
One of the most fun
in Bulgaria.
One of the most fun teammates I've ever had in my life was Kathy. So
yeah, Kathy's
Kathy?
Fun. It's fun watching her smash people.
Yeah,
I always feel bad for the women that have to pull her because they're like, she's so nice to them and they try so hard, but
Smash.
Kathy is tough to beat. Yeah,
Kathy
seriously.
is seriously tough.
So when is Worlds? Date?
October or something.
Well, October. It's the week of October 2nd, so it's actually kind of cool because I'm competing Masters and Open. Open I'm just doing for fun because I'm going to get crushed, but hopefully I will not get crushed to the same extent in Masters. But I can weigh in on Monday, and I don't have to compete till Thursday. So I'm going to weigh in at 198 on Monday. By Thursday, I'm going to be 210. You know,
Beast.
So it's like only the Masters get that. Like everybody else has to weigh in either 1 or 2 days before their tournaments. I don't know why they cut us that level of slack, but I'm not complaining about it.
Advantage.
Yeah.
I think part of it's just.
It's an advantage.
I think part of it's just strictly scheduling. You know.
Yeah, I'm sure.
There's so many people, and there's so many weigh-ins. There's so much paperwork.
So many conflicts
blah
that they
blah
have to
blah.
work around.
So it's like, dude, just get it all done this day, so we don't have to worry about it for the rest of the fucking days.
So what weight class? What weight class exactly? They have a ton of them. So which one are you pulling exactly, Josh?
Well, I'm pulling 98s. 198s, 90 kilograms. I'm
90.
pulling Masters left and right and Open left and right.
Same weight class in the Open, 90 kilos.
Mm-hmm. That's what I qualified in, so that's what I have to pull.
And what did you? What event qualified you?
The USAF Nationals in the United States is the only
Unifieds.
event that qualifies you.
Unifieds. Okay.
Yeah, out in
Gotcha.
Atlantic City this year. That's where it was, right? Yeah. John.
Yeah, that was a Nap Sports.
I think they
Collins?
presented it. Bill
Yeah, it was
Collins.
in Atlantic City
Okay,
this year. Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah, I think Josh and Joseph went out for that.
Yes, that's the one that I was trying to
Yep.
confirm that that's the one it was. Joseph crushed like I expected to.
Yeah,
No offense, Josh.
Yeah,
yeah,
Joseph is a beast, man. I was very impressed by him that day.
I
Bad
second
man.
that. He's
He's a bad man. Good training partner
A
too.
little shout out to my friend and training partner Alexander Pay, who just took the first place left and right in Michigan State's novice 165. So he's very excited.
Did he really? That's awesome. Good
Wait,
job,
yeah.
Alex.
where's he from?
Boston.
He's from Chicago, but he lives in
Oh.
Boston because he's going to school up there.
Okay,
So
so
we're claiming him. We're claiming
yeah,
him.
Hell yeah.
Here's the deal. I am almost positive I pulled that guy in the pro class at the 2015 Wisconsin States. He pulled novice, and I think if I'm not mistaken, I think he got first, and then he decided to pull the opens, and I pulled him left-handed, and it was false started the first time, but I did end up.
Oh, you cheating bastard.
Well, I top rolled him. It was the same outcome the very next start. He was. That's that's a long time ago. That's over a year and a half ago almost. So I mean, I'm sure he's made those
His
good
left hand is
beginner
his
gains.
left hand is very impressive. His right is also good, but his left is ridiculous. So
Yeah, and he is new, and he's making. I remember the last time I pulled him when I
He looks bigger.
came out for July.
He seemed like he was, maybe even a light 165er at that tournament. So, and from what I've seen now, he looks like he's a little bit bigger. And I like to call him, those like novice gains. You get strong fast in the beginning.
Oh yeah,
And then
big
you
time.
start hitting a couple of those plateaus. And then you'll get, all of a sudden, for a month or two, you'll get strong fast again. And
It's funny when the further along you get, like you realize 4 months later that that little thing I worked on for 4 months straight, it's almost starting to get better.
Yep. Yeah.
It's not even better yet. It's just almost better.
what is the rule of thumb out where you guys are for how long you're allowed to stay in the novice class?
That depends on what tournament you go to. I pulled to my third novice event. I got first right-handed, second left, and although I wasn't told I couldn't, it was just kind of just I felt that I wasn't supposed to pull novice ever again. Well, I was told I couldn't pull right-hand novice, but left-handed, it was just almost expected since I wasn't going to pull right-hand novice ever again, and that was only one win, so. Kind of depends on who the puller is and how fast they're progressing. I also had 2 arms break, so that I kind of figured, well, if I get out of the novice class, I probably won't have another arm break in my hand. If that makes any sense, because if I'm pulling the pros, I'm going to lose probably fast. There's not going to be a position where, because I was so scared at that point, I made sure I was safe at all times. Shoulders were square.
He had.
Did you break each arm or with the same one?
No.
twice?
Other
I
guys.
should clarify.
I was trying to do that.
I had sorry. I should clarify. I had 2 arms break. So while I was arm wrestling a guy, his arm broke left-handed, and then the second time it was in the straps right-handed, and the guy broke his arm. So
listen to this. Listen to this, man. I had that happen to me once with this guy Tyler, who's really, really strong, really good guy.
Yeah.
And his arm broke when we were pulling for first in the novice class, and then he took a year off. He came back and he just came back to the Boston City Championships. He's pulling again for first and second. He breaks the other guy's arm.
Oh man,
Oh man, really?
how? Oof.
Yep. So he quit. He actually pulled out of the tournament. He said, "I can't do it, dude." He's like, it's 2 tournaments in a row. I can't do it. So he actually pulled out of the tournament. So the guy who would have gotten third place ended up in first.
Wow.
It was crazy.
No, it happens like that. My 4th tournament I went to, I witnessed another arm break, got another, so it'd be 3 arm breaks that I had on film. And that tournament, the guy who was on the receiving end, or who felt the arm break, he actually dropped out. He went outside and he threw up actually right after it happened, and then he decided, nope, I'm not going to pull. I just don't want to. And
Yeah.
I get it. I totally get it. Because after it happened to me my first time, they stopped the event for a while, and I mean, I was like, whoa.
No, it
what
sucks,
the hell?
man.
It gets in your head because you almost get scared that, it's like, if it happened to him, and I'm new, and
Exactly.
That is a big part of it.
well, okay. And
we all forget, like, we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna pull our ass up,
Yeah.
and snap, and you go,
exactly.
oh shit, we could all get hurt today.
Brings you back down to reality. Like, what we're doing is
Dangerous.
we're laying down lots of pressure in the opposite position, to where. And then from then on, I just always would look at my hand, always keep my shoulders square. And my, I wouldn't say my form suffered from it, but there was definitely times that I could probably put down more power, but in a questionable position, and I was just like, no way. Because I don't have insurance. I can't be breaking my arm, man.
Right.
No way.
Yeah.
No, that'd definitely make you think a lot different.
Yeah, no, it totally did.
Luckily, I hope I never have to deal with that, but I've never.
That's actually one of the reasons that I was doing so much top rolling, especially in the early days, because I've never seen anybody break their arm top rolling.
No, I have to agree. Most of the time it's when there's a press involved or a hook and somebody...
And a bad position hook, exactly.
Yeah, when they feel
they're
like,
doing
hey,
this.
if I twist away, man, I feel like I'll generate more power. I know it. And what they don't realize is it's like literally fractions of seconds and your shit snaps.
And there's
Yeah.
no warning. It just goes.
No, yeah, it's not like it cracks and cracks 2-3 times. Okay, it was only twice, guys. I'm okay. I got one more.
I got one more. It's fine.
It doesn't work that way. It's done, and 10 months of being in a cast or whatever is definitely on your plate.
Yeah.
So Conrad in Texas wants to know our opinion. If 2 hands are equal size, do you think it's better to have a shorter arm or a longer arm?
Longer arm every time, in my
Well, I
opinion.
think so too, but I was going to just say a longer arm, but then I'm thinking, if you are a strong hooker, you may not agree with that.
So same size hand, different length arms.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would just say like I just had this conversation today, right?
Yes,
At
we did.
practice. And I
We
said-
talked about this
Yeah, we did.
exactly today, and that exact question was brought up. So do you think longer arms better if there's an advantage, or do you think there isn't? And I said, absolutely. It's physics 101. Levers. I mean, and
So if you think about that, right, I totally agree with you. But if your style is this, pulling people in close to you,
Yep.
and that's where your power is, it seems like a shorter arm would be beneficial. If you get people over to your side of the table,
Yes.
they're tighter in your muscular structure. In a top roll or a press, I think the longer arm is absolutely an advantage.
I don't press. It's a pressure that I can't generate because of my long arms. It feels like the distance from, like, I shouldn't say I absolutely cannot press, but I have to lower my hand so far to the table so that I'm not like such a steep angle. It hurts. For some reason, it like gives me a shin splint type of feeling down my ulnar. Like, that just doesn't work for me. But okay, and now to a point, I know that John's gonna probably same thing that I'm thinking is, if you're a dominant, like deep down, tucked in hooker, and you have a longer arm, and let's say, well, why don't you just lower your angle, so that you are still, like Devin did with John at the 2015 WAL, when he went from chopping, and getting super tucked in and super tight. That was like as deep a hook as you could possibly get to. And that's my best example of, well, if you still have a long arm, I still think there's an advantage because there's more options. You have more options when your arm's longer. You can stay top rolling or hooking high, or you can lower your angle, get tighter to your body, engage more of your core, and still get in there. But I mean, that's just me saying.
Yeah, I mean, I think, and it might be just to help your your confidence on the table.
Exactly.
But I believe that every single positive in arm wrestling also has a negative.
Yep.
And I think you have to really learn how to take advantage of the strengths people have and making it work against them. A big hand is a liability sometimes.
Yeah.
It is the way it is. You can make somebody with a big hand very uncomfortable if you have a smaller hand. You can make somebody with a long arm uncomfortable if you have a shorter arm. It really depends on what angle you're going to choose and what attack you're going to... You don't want to attack someone's strength.
No.
I mean, that's not what you want to do. So there are ways to make somebody with a long arm very uncomfortable. And that same thing you were talking about of getting back to the back of the pad nice and tight with that long arm, well, guess what? If you have the strength to do that with a short arm, you're going to be super far on your side of the table.
Yep.
And I don't care how long your arm is. Good luck.
Yep.
So, I mean, I think it's really just about taking what someone's strengths are, taking their benefits, taking their natural gifts, and making it work against them somehow.
Yeah, like basically you're going to attack their weaknesses through their strengths. Like where if somebody has a really long arm and they like a lot of hand control, when I get put into a press and somebody flops, I like that, right? That feels good. But if they have an unbelievably nasty dead wrist press, you will pin me. Because that, like, you have everything you want, right? But there's only really one area of where you're going to fail, and that's going to be your angle's they're just going to pin you like this. Just like that.
Yeah.
Well, that's them. You're giving them all the confidence because you're giving them what they want, but at the same time, you're still beating them.
Yeah,
where they want to be.
Things like people bring up like the big hands, small hands, all that kind of stuff, that argument, right? Well, if you're pulling somebody with a big hand, why aren't you taking advantage of being able to get super high on that big fat thumb? Like, there's so many things you can do with that smaller hand that make that you can't do with a small gripping up with against a smaller hand.
No, because it looks like you're cheating.
Yeah,
where
I can get super high on a big hand.
Well, did you see that picture of Travis and Ryan Epsey? They had the someone actually freeze framed the start that Travis got, and Travis was basically this. He had Ryan all the way over on his side of the table, and he was not only covering a knuckle, he was probably covering his thenar muscle. That's how high he was.
Right.
And they said go. So somebody pointed out nobody could beat Travis in that position.
No,
he'd beat a machine in that position, and it's ridiculous.
With the WAL setup, and Travis is he's good.
Yeah, and even to say within all the rule sets too. Like if you got a huge hand like that, and I get super duper high on you, there's a good. I mean, your knuckles probably still going to show. So it's like, no, dude, we're following the rules. I'm just taking advantage of everything I can get because this guy's build allows it. I mean, it's just the way it is.
Don't have a big hand, and I won't exploit certain weaknesses.
But I don't know if you guys have ever gripped up. I'm Josh probably has the biggest hand out of all of us. But gripping up with someone with a super short thumb or a really small hand, dude, that's hard to do. Especially if you are trying to get a little high or your move requires a little bit of height, and you're following rules. It's hard.
It is.
Handeland has a pretty small thumb.
Yeah.
And he doesn't even mean to dip it, but it's just the way it is. And there's sometimes where I got to watch myself because I don't want to get used to having to pull this guy covering his thumb knuckle.
I know. I will almost specifically grip certain sized hands lower.
It's just the way it is. Sorry.
I was like, what is that?
Ref script. Every time somebody does that to me, I go right to the ref script.
If they grip you low?
Yeah.
Really?
If they grip me low. If they grip me a normal amount of low, fine. But if they do one of those, I'm going to grab you around your wrist type things, then yes.
Okay. But at that same time, don't you feel like you're just going to crank their... I mean, if they don't have a...
Depends on the person. All this stuff we're talking about, it all depends on what the strength differentials between the two of you, because technique doesn't mean shit if it's me pulling John Cervantes, for example, because have the world's best technique and he's still going to flash me.
Okay.
But, if you're relatively equivalent, yes, someone who knows me well and who I compete with, who suddenly drops down, try to pull me into a hook, I probably will go to a ref script just to make them grab a little bit higher. Because I don't feel like I need to be super high on the start to feel comfortable because of my hand size. But
So you would want a good hooker. You would want him to actually grip you higher. You wouldn't feel as comfortable if he gripped you lower.
I feel comfortable with when our hands are grabbing very equally because of the strength and size of my hand. I always feel like I have a good shot of preventing them from sucking me in. But when they grab lower, I don't feel as strong.
Okay, I got you.
But
Weird, yeah. I get that totally, but if the person is gonna grab me low like that, if they're not a good, like if they don't have a good hand, like if they can't top roll,
Oh, sure.
I feel good because I'm gonna.
Sometimes
Their hand will go back in that position. Like that's what I fight to get is them down on my hand, so that I can take all of their hand like that. That feels the absolute best for me. But if they've got to be not a good top roller, because if they have a good hand and they can control that, well, now they've got another option of getting to that hook. And then, no, I don't want that.
Vazgen just said on here that he thinks Herman Stevens is going to beat Travis right-handed.
I was just going to read that right here.
Okay, yeah, he was just showing me that.
Yeah.
So, Vazgen...
Herman will
Let me
beat
answer a
Travis.
question while you guys are
I do
talking
not know
about
what the FAL is, Vazgen.
It's the fucked up arm wrestling league.
Oh, that sounds horrible.
No,
That
it's
sounds rather
actually,
fucked up.
It's
I know what he's talking. I
Very
have an
funny.
idea. I know what he's talking about.
so
Vazgen.
Keith, your question here is: have you dealt with numbness in your fingers? And for you feel it in the top roll position, especially in the top two fingers. First of all, the best thing to do, go to a doctor, have them look at it, because we're not doctors. But I will tell you that type of numbness is very frequently due to your radial nerve, which, if you're not familiar, it runs down your shoulder, down the back of your triceps, and then comes over the front of your arm, and it goes to these fingers and your thumb. So these three fingers is where your radial nerve ends. So when you have numbness in that area, it's frequently a radial nerve impingement, which could mean that if you're doing a lot of exercising, weightlifting, that your muscles are compressing the nerve, and that's what's causing tingling, or you injured it by pulling too much. So those two things that can happen. So what you should do, like I said, go to the doctor, and if they confirm that's what's wrong with you, you can look up radial nerve gliding on YouTube, and there's some videos that will show you the different stretches you can do. And if it's just the tingling, the chances are it'll go away in a week or so if you do the exercises once a day. So look that up. But I get that. It's on my thumb, not my two fingers, but it is a radial nerve, and the stretches definitely help. And like I said, you can look them up, radial nerve gliding on YouTube. There's all kinds of videos for it.
Very nice. Yeah, I've never really dealt too much with finger numbness. A little bit tingling sometimes in the bottom too, because of my, sometimes you get that ulnar nerve. But that was early on. I never really had it after that.
No, I've never felt anything in the fingers. The only thing that I guess when we pull in the straps and the strap gets like super tight, the hand will go numb, but it's never like from any sort of
lack of blood flow. That's all lack of blood.
Nerve or anything.
I've had some thumb numbness, but that was like direct injury. Like where just
One of the things that you get, especially if you have a significant development in muscle over a short period of time, is that for most people, the nerves run through the muscle fibers. So when your muscles get unusually contracted through exercise or injury or overtraining, which you don't believe in, but for those of us that do, they just, your muscles just squeeze on the nerve, and that's where you get either sometimes shooting pain, sometimes numbness, sometimes tingling, all those things. And so like a massage will sometimes fix it. But if it's a little bit more serious, then you have to be careful, because if your nerve gets severed or gets really fucked up, you get what's called drop hand, which means you try to grab stuff and it just falls out of your hand because your nerves are not sending the proper signals to your fingers, so you can no longer grab like we do in arm wrestling. And you go to grab a coffee cup and you think you have it, and it'll just come right out of your hand.
yeah.
That sounds expensive to fix.
Yeah, if they have to do surgery, it really sucks, and it's not a highly successful surgery, so you definitely don't want that to happen.
No,
which is why if you have that and it's persistent, it's always a good idea to get it checked out by a doc before you go listening to us on this stupid show and trying our treatments.
Hey, this is fucking awesome show.
Don't you get it fucking twisted, bro?
This is one of the highlights of my week, Josh.
Yeah.
I look forward
And
to
Keith
this.
is in Oregon, by
Sad
the way. I keep
man.
forgetting this. Conrad was in Texas and Keith is in Oregon. So thanks for
Fuck
listening,
you,
y'all.
Yeah.
Come on. This show is the bomb, and the fact that I
.com.
look forward to it, there's nothing wrong with that.
Don't judge me on
My
your
week-
show.
So what?
So
I
what?
live a very unexciting life at times, but this is damn exciting at times. So
I think our show is the most exciting show anywhere. I
Yeah.
mean,
yeah. Like I
I
said
don't think it's a
before,
coincidence that American Idol is going off the air right when we come on there. They
Yeah, I
must
think
have
that's
been
some
like,
bullshit,
"All right,
American Idol.
we're done now, guys." Somebody gave Josh and John a show. Let's just pack it in.
it was
you know?
planned.
Yeah,
it was
American
all
Idol.
planned.
Get off our shit.
It was all planned.
I know we're losing some viewers from that.
No way.
Next thing you know, Dancing with the Stars is going to be on at 8 o'clock Wednesdays.
Oops, gotta go.
Yeah.
Oh
this
wait,
is
Wednesdays. Never mind.
Yeah.
So its schedule is Wednesdays and Fridays, correct? Sometimes
Well,
I miss
always
the Wednesdays.
Wednesdays.
Yeah.
Always Wednesdays. Others days as needed, especially when we deal with people like overseas and stuff in different time zones.
Ah, yes, yeah. That was the reason behind. I listened to it recently. It was a great show to Neil and Ben.
Well,
Sunday-
they were
Sunday-
actually in New York at that time.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
they were, but he was only over here for a very short period of time, so he took the window we had.
Yeah,
That was like
hey,
that was one of the most fun shows.
I
ever.
would too.
He was
though.
so
Yeah,
much
it
fun
was.
to talk to.
It was an absolutely awesome show. Neil is. He's
He's fun. He's a fun guy to talk to, and Ben was awesome too.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
fantastic. That was just a great show all around.
super cool. One of my
We're getting Fia's coming on either next week or the week after, and she's the one that just won the WL women's classes, and she's an unbelievable beast, and she'll probably be a Friday show because of they're a day ahead of us.
Sweet.
Sweden.
Sweden.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Was that
Yep.
what weight class was that? That
she was the middleweight class, whatever. I don't know.
147 or 129 to 147 or whatever. it
Yeah,
was?
yeah, that's the one. Yep.
Okay. Who won? We could talk about this, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it's all.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Who won the lightest weight class?
Valerie Beach got second place.
Was it
lefty.
Tatiana? Was it Tatiana, the girl who won both arms at regionals, Northern?
Different people won left and right.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
and I can't remember.
For some
I know
reason,
that
yeah. I
The
don't know.
girl who throat punched Valerie and somehow didn't get disqualified did win right-handed.
She did.
Yeah.
Oh man, I bet
That's
she did.
I got to tell you, man. I was very disappointed, and I know she's a nice person, and she probably didn't mean it. But if you punch somebody, you're out. Period. I don't care what the explanation is.
Yeah,
she
I
should not have been
can't
allowed
really-
to compete.
Yeah.
And I would say that if it was my best friend who did it, I would say exactly the same thing. I just felt that was
agree.
bullshit.
I agree 100%. I had the privilege of editing that footage, and from what it looks like, when I really slowed it down, it looks like she possibly could have been trying to swing her hand around and give her a really hard pat on the shoulder, but at the same time, when their hands didn't separate, she still followed through with her forward momentum and made no apologies after.
That's the thing. Too.
That was-
It'd be
that
one
was
thing
it
if you're
for
like,
me.
"Oh, I'm sorry," you know what I mean?
That was it for me when she made the contact and it was neck, shoulderish area, and the contact was made. There was no sign of, oh shit, I just I screwed up big time. I did not mean to do that. Adrenaline was definitely running high, but
Sure.
there was an immediate, okay, it didn't happen. I'm gonna walk away.
Yeah, that's
Restart it.
right.
Restart it. Give me a foul and restart it. And when
And
I
there
heard her
does have
say
to
that,
be- there does have to be
Yeah.
consequence to certain things.
exactly, that should have been in my opinion, automatic loss, and quite possibly you're probably just done for the day, to be honest.
Yeah,
If
think
I
that's
saw
enough.
somebody do that at a tournament that I ran, I would kick them out, and I wouldn't care if it was Jerry Carteret did it. That'd
No,
be it.
yeah,
I just,
yeah.
it's not. I'm not tolerating that bullshit.
No, that was Well, yeah.
You can't give newer pullers too that kind of if I do that, I'll still be able to pull.
That was
There's just
the-
certain things there's a lot of reasons why there just has to be certain consequences.
The reason I
There's
think it
certain
was
lines.
intentional is because of what you said, the lack of apology. If anybody did that accidentally, they'd be like, "Oh my god, I'm sorry," and hugged them.
That's
and,
exactly
my
it. There
bad,
would have been a moment of holy crap.
contrition. Right.
you know, but there was none of that, so it was, so, yeah. It happened.
Anyway,
it happened.
Yeah.
So there it is.
You know, yep, exactly.
Well, damn, dude, we've been on for an hour and a half.
What?
You didn't think it was that long?
No, I didn't know how long it had been, really. I seen it was 9:43, and I was like, oh, snap, I better, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, you guys have any more questions out there in the YouTube world? Because we're going to wrap this shit up, y'all.
Yeah, we're going to answer a couple
Yeah.
more, whatever.
Wrap it up. We got
I'll have
the
to bring you,
Yeah.
come back on next
Matt,
week and we can
Matt
finish.
Ellis is shouting you out to
Who?
Matt Ellis
Matt
Yeah.
Ellis. Shout out to Joe. Oh,
on his
hey,
engagements
Hey, yeah,
at
thanks.
Minnesota State.
Yeah, that was really
interesting.
good. For those who don't know, I did ask my girlfriend of 8 years, Betsy Rowan, to marry me at the 2016 Minnesota State. So
Uh-huh.
Right before he pulled the match.
yeah, ended up losing quite horribly to Josh Hanlon.
Let's talk about the good part, Joe.
Yeah, to right. Yeah, enough of that. Yeah, she said yes. So it's in the future there will be that sort of thing. But
That's awesome, man.
it is. It's really awesome. It's been a long time coming, and she does a lot of the filming, which a lot of people sometimes don't really know that. But obviously, when I'm pulling, I'm not filming, so somebody's got to be filming.
Yeah, she
And
works
she
hard,
does.
too.
She does. She films a lot of matches, and she is more than happy to 90% of the time to, because sometimes she's watching the dog, but she'll take over and want to take over.
We've heard a couple times during the show.
Yeah. He's been barking. Sorry, guys.
No, he's done pretty good.
Yeah,
he was a
has.
fucking mess before, Josh.
Yes. He was. Yeah.
He was like, let me check this out. Let me check this out. Let me check that out. Let me check this out.
And not a lot of you guys can see this, but there's like a lot of sound equipment. There's some weights and a lot of cords and stuff. And
It's a high-level operation, fellas.
yeah. Newer dog / puppy. He sees all that, and I'm just like, oh man, don't chew. on
Maybe he
those
just
cords.
wants his own microphone.
He
You know,
does.
maybe we should just make him
He really
put him on a
does.
show.
He's made some appearances in some training videos I have back when he was smaller, but he definitely likes the camera.
Should have set up the third mic for him.
Yeah, should have.
Damn.
We could have.
See? Always making mistakes, but always willing to improve.
Yeah, that's all that matters though. It's the thought, right?
Absolutely.
All right, no more last minute questions came in, y'all.
Oh, wait, one more question. Tony Katowski wants to know why Joseph's arms are so small.
Is that small enough for you, Tony? Look at that.
I think almost all arms look small compared to Tony's. So
It's not fair.
Hilarious.
I can try to out angle, but it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
And Vaskin says more beer, less steroids. So,
Okay,
hey, I can half agree with that, Vaskin. So,
Hey, come on, man. No, they're coming along.
come on, Tony. What the fuck?
Yeah, Tony, you're killing me, man. Come on, dude.
I just saw it last second. I had to bring it up.
Yeah, no, it was good.
Well, it's been fun,
Tony's
everybody.
the man. I gotta say that Tony's the man. He's been one of my best supporters.
It was good to see him a couple weeks ago. At
Excellent.
65.
So shout out to Tony.
hell yeah.
Yeah, man.
They're not small.
No, they're huge.
Well, thanks for having me on, guys. It's been a blast.
Hell yeah.
Blast.
And thanks for doing shows all the time and, not sucking.
Well, me and Josh missed each other so much since I moved, so that's why we do it.
Yeah, that's basically the only reason we started the show
Yeah.
to
Josh is
guys-
like,
begin with.
You
so
guys
what's
rock.
going on, man? I'm like, dude, I don't want to talk to you. Can we just do this once a week? Maybe twice.
Twice.
He's like, all right, fine.
No, you guys rock, for real. This is,
You too, man. We're gonna get you
needed
back
this.
on it. It's fun.
it was a lot of fun.
It's the first time we ever had another guest actually, like, in the same room.
Hey, this was thoroughly an
Pretty
enjoyment.
fun, huh?
I didn't have to work this weekend, and this has kind of really been a highlight for me. So thank you.
Sweet.
Okay. All right.
Flex off, bros.
I can't do that, man. I'm too humble.
Come on. It's too humble. Peace, y'all.
See you guys.
Oh, you did it.
Adios.